Going to America was actually one of the best experiences that I couldn't wait to tell the story of how you find out like the people that are giving you advice are just not like you. Every idea that you have, go and start it. Sometimes it's not about the success or failure of business, but it's about the people that you're gonna meet in that journey of business, which has been the thing about me. This idea comes with condition, and the condition of it is businesses that exist, those ones that are stable and those ones that fail. Businesses are not different, but the mindset that run the business is different.
How do you keep the money going? How do you keep the business going?
Money is a depreciating asset, so if you store money for growth, you are sabotaging yourself. As long as you don't decolonize your mindset when it comes to money, things are always going to be the same. I wouldn't give anyone $1,000,000 or $1,000,000 advice on money because I'm not a millionaire. I mean, I'm not 100,000-aire, I'm just 1,000-aire. I don't take people that I'm not going to learn anything from them on the date. I don't mind to pay a bill, even if it costs 2,000 for someone that can teach me something that can change my life in that moment.
How important is it to have a support system or people that believe in you and support you during those times where you start the business?
We all have our times. There are times in this world where our energy is very high. And when it's high, we can produce more, we can attain more. Don't quit on a bad day. It's fine to quit, I don't mind, but don't quit because it's a bad day. Although people support you, never become entitled on people's things. Before you hold other people accountable and you get comfortable with that, you have to get comfortable with holding yourself accountable. If you are able to give people what they want, you will have the world eating at the palm of your hand. Martin Luther King, not everyone will be famous, but everyone can be great because greatness is determined by service.
If you knew that this was your last days, how would you spend those days?
I don't deny that I've had so many people. There are so many hearts that I've really had in this world, and I'm not proud of it, but it's part of me being a human.
Are you a forex trader? Are you struggling to make a profit? This is the great opportunity. FFBK seminar is one for you. It's your boy Future, King of Trades, aka Mr. Sniper Entry, the owner and the founder of FFBK. I will be hosting an event seminar at BAHLE Hall on 30 November. Are you struggling with your trading? You can't manage your risk? You are always losing on the market? This is the opportunity for you. I can't wait to see you there. We will be having many guests. SIVE will be in the building. Oiskani will be in the building, Godfrey Maga will be in the building, Milton Sosa will be in the building. I understand the background of me being a young person who does not have money and me struggling to have finances. So this is the great opportunity for someone that wants to make a means of income. Another great shaya for the end of 2024. So make sure that you get your ticket, 250 only. Thanks.
Okay, welcome back to SIVE. And you know that in our show we normally focus on 3 pillars: mindset, money, and beliefs. And today our guest is an entrepreneur, master of ceremonies, and a motivational speaker. Welcome to SIVE.
Thanks for having me.
How are you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm in a good place. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me how is life in general? And are you content with what's going on recently?
Yeah. Life for me at this moment, it's at a very interesting stage. One is growing, this is a season of growth for me. And everything that is happening, I think it's happening accordingly. Yeah, I'm a very pessimistic person. Not actually pessimistic, optimistic, I mean to say, of life. I look life with positive eye, through positive lenses. So everything that is happening right now, I think it's making a way to, to a more beautiful life than it is right now. So I'm okay, I'm content. I think life means freedom of experiences to me. I think it's a privilege to have one, to be alive, writing your own book. It means a lot. I'm happy. I'm happy to be alive.
Congratulations.
Yeah, waking up in the morning and living throughout the day. It's a bonus of it all.
Okay. Tell me about one of your best experiences in life.
So my best experience, I can retrospect as far as possible, but I'm just gonna mention a recent one. Going to America was actually one of the best experiences that I had. Not the experience of living in America, but like me moving from South Africa going to America, like that trip. It's one of the best experiences that I've ever had. Not discrediting other experiences, but that one is just the highlight of it all, because I'm a person who believes a lot in traveling and meeting new people for growth. So yeah, going to America is one of the profound experiences I've had.
Okay. Can you please tell us one of the things that you learned there? As you said that you love the saying that as leaders, we travel and meet new people and whatsoever.
Yeah, like from traveling and meeting new people, I learned just a lot, but I'm gonna try to trace maybe one thing. I would say meeting people that have different culture than myself, seeing how other people live, and seeing what's outside the confinements of South Africa. Well, my dreams were always inspired and being aspired within the confinements of South Africa. But going outside has just showed me that there's more one can, there's more life can offer. There's more in life than what we see around. And meeting people that cannot really speak my language, like I met a lot of Spanish people where we have to interact but we don't understand each other. So it was like I'm a kid, and being a kid is such a good feeling, because you become very vulnerable and you're up to learn new things. So yeah, there's just a lot of things that I can tell you, but I would say number one, it was to see how other people live, and of course the structures of the world out there that you don't find in South Africa.
Okay. Except for language barrier, what are some of the challenges that you had there?
Must be culture. The way people do things, which is foreign to me, and they consider how they do things as maybe lifestyle. That's one of the difficult challenges that I faced, having to adapt. You see, in South Africa, we just speak. I think in South Africa, we just speak. South Africa has a lot of freedom, and in most aspects. In America, the conversations for me appear or sound to be so much censored. Like there are a lot of systems that censor how you speak. If you speak a certain way, it's like you are an advocate of fascism. If you speak in a certain way, it's like you're an advocate of racism. So all these standards that they create within their culture, it was a challenge for me to adapt, because coming from a place where you just speak and people don't catch smoke in how you speak, of course, considering the sound and other stuff. When you are in America, it's different. You must pay attention to the things that you say. It's more like you're in a classroom. You pay attention to the answer that you give or to the question that you ask. You don't wanna. This was my case. I didn't wanna appear to be rude. I didn't wanna appear to be disrespectful.
Okay.
Yeah, so those like that's the challenge, and I believe that like it goes just away from the language itself, because with language, if I can say you're looking good and you understand what that means, then I think then that's a language, right? But if I do things certain way and I express myself certain way and I like certain things, then that speaks to my culture. So the challenging thing was the culture. I found it very difficult to understand their interests and way of doing things. Yeah.
Except for all challenges, I know that you choose Mzansi over and over again. Would you rather be here or there?
I think South Africa is the best place to live, since now I've been to the other side of the world. And I know it's a lot of people that aspire to go to America. I think one of the things that made my trip to go to America fascinating and looking forward to is the dream that one had about going to America. I think a lot of kids grow up wanting to visit places like America, all those places that we see on movies, on media. So having been to America, I realized that the reality was far from the dream. In my mind, you have like something like when you get off from your flight, you're gonna probably see Jay-Z playing with his kids or something. Or maybe you're gonna see the life that you saw in movies. It's not like that. In fact, I think going to America, if I knew that the experience was that what was gonna be like that, I would have probably postponed it to a moment where I'm probably ready to understand things, because when I was there, it was nice, don't get me wrong, but I just realized that it's far from the dream.
Okay.
What you dream is not what you found.
Which is understandable. We know that business is your life. Business is your life. Were you like that since from like when you were at school? Were you that kid who would sell chippies in schools and whatsoever? How did the business thing start?
Yeah, business, it's been part of my life since I was a child. I think I was born in business, and I didn't, although I never thought I could end up as an entrepreneur or maybe have ambitions around entrepreneurship, but business has been part of my life. Where I'm from in the Eastern Cape, we had businesses. Where I grew up in Gauteng, we had businesses. Where I grew up in the Free State, we had businesses. So it's been part of my life. And me, going back to your straight question, at school, did I sell something? I did. I remember my first capital, I took it from my grandfather from my mom's side. So he gave me 10 rand and I went on to stock, and I bought my first inventory. So yes, I was selling sweets, and that moment transpired after I was selling in the street. I was doing door-to-door sales, and at home they used to stock cleaning products, and we would go from section to section to sell those. I was knocking on people's door. So that was business. And when I was in high school, I started about 3 or 4 businesses. 2 of them got recognized, like they got certified by the school, because I went to a business school. So in my school, we would have something that they would call Entrepreneurs Day. On that day, we as learners, we come with our own businesses, and we literally sell, not for the school, but for ourselves. Like we take the profit. So I spent 4 years in high school. On the first year, I didn't come up with business because I was still discovering myself. I didn't even do well in my academics. But on the second year in high school, which was a business school, I had business in all the 3 years that were like I had remaining. So I've, like, during the moment where like learners come up with their businesses, I've always had ideas to, you know, to show up on the like on such days. And yeah, it's been part of my life. It's been part of my life.
What type of businesses did you have then?
Well, I started arcade game studio,
Okay.
where people would pay at the door and they enter to play games. And we didn't have the fancy machines for people to play games, but we used our own resources. In fact, I still remember we had good relationship with teachers. So I'm using we because I partnered with other people in these businesses, right? So we would go to teachers and borrow their laptops because we were doing well. You know, a person that is doing well in school is always having favors from the teachers. Yeah, so that's one of the favors that we leveraged on. So we would go and borrow computers, and we only like had to seek out the joypad, which is some things that we had back at home, because we would play FIFA as boys, right? And now people were playing FIFA and other games. They pay at the door, they come in to play. That's one of the businesses. And the other one, restaurant. We started restaurant in school, selling a quarter, and that was the most profitable business in my high school time that we started. And we had another business, a cinema. Yeah, we I think we had a business, cinema, where people would come and watch things. Yeah, those are some of the ideas that we had. Yeah, and the most common thing about these ideas is that I would generate them, and my friends believed in me to generate ideas. I also believe in myself to be I'm a critical thinker. I'm able to generate ideas. And during that moment, I happened to have friends that believed in my so-called ability. Yeah, they believed in me generating ideas. So yeah.
Okay. I know like that right now, one of your one of your businesses that you're focusing on is barbershop right now.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I couldn't wait to tell the story of how I started cutting hair. So I started cutting hair when my mom was tired to spend money on me, because I used to love having haircut, fresh haircut. So I would always ask for money every week. A cut was 15 rand during those days, and I know there are still barbers out there that charge 15 rand. So during that time, it was 15 rand. So, but she had really gotten tired to take out all this money for me every week. And she decided to buy me a machine. And when she bought this machine, she was like, I'm gonna cut you so you no longer go into the salon. So you know how mothers are. They will buy the machine and believe so much in themselves cutting me a fade and stuff. So, or us fade. So I was like, I'm gonna learn how to cut myself, because she had cut me before, but I got mocked at school because of that cut. Yeah, I got mocked at school because of that cut. Like they would call you like the cut that you have, dog's graveyard. So like those are some of the things that they. So I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to cut my own hair, and I did learn, but it was difficult. And then I switched off on my thinking. I'm like, I'm gonna cut the young people around me, those guys that were younger than me at that time. I'm talking about boys that are 6 years, 7 years. I'm like, I'm gonna call them and cut them. So that's how I started cutting. And I had all these young guys coming and cut, and some guys that believed in my ability to cut. I won't forget, there's a guy, wherever you are, bro, I miss you so much. There's a guy called Nkhaudise, by the name, Nkhaudise Mkhutli. He's one of the guys that I used to cut him. And we Dumelo Springbok, one of the guys that I started cutting those guys to charge money, and I was charging like something like 5 rand, yeah, because I wasn't good. They just believed in me being a better barber. I used to like being an artistic barber in their head. So yeah, so that's how I started, by having my mom buying the clipper for me, and me wanting to learn how to cut myself to avoid like not so good haircuts from my mom. So, and extending my hand to other people and see if I can be able to cut them. And yeah, 7 years later, I was able to cut hair, and I was charging for it.
All right. What a good story. What advice would you have for a young person who wants to start their business right now, but they are reluctant to start it?
Yeah, it's a huge responsibility for me to give an advice, but if I had to give myself an advice, the young version of me, I would probably run out of an advice to give myself, because I've followed every advice that I had for someone else. I followed, when I give an advice, it would probably be something that I did. So what I did, I started a lot of businesses, and my mindset on this business was not the business will fail, but it was I want to see what's going to happen. I want to see how far it can go. I want to see what can I learn from this. So every idea that I've had, I've executed. When I think about business, I started, and most of them, those ones that I started, are the ones that I discussed with myself. But those businesses that I had an idea of and I discussed with other people, some didn't see, most of them actually didn't see the sunlight. Like, I mean, they didn't become real. I never started them because people had critical thoughts around it. Do I regret that some businesses I never discussed with other people? No, I think I wouldn't have learned so much around entrepreneurship if I have consulted with other people, because when you go to discuss some things with people, sometimes like people, they don't give you an advice based on you, they give an advice based on themselves, like their emotional reaction, how would they respond to this, and you find out like the people that are giving you advice are just not like you. So the advice that I would give a young version of me is the one that I had to follow, which is every idea that you have, go and start it. Sometimes it's not about the success or failure of business, but it's about the people that you're gonna meet in that journey of business, which has been the thing about me. And sometimes it's not about the people that you're gonna meet, but that one experience that you have to amass and it will probably help you on your next business. So always follow your ideas. I don't believe in, like, people don't believe in bad question. I don't believe in bad idea. So if you have an idea and you are very passionate about it, go and execute it. However, this idea comes with condition, and the condition of it is, should anything happen when you execute that idea, make sure that you don't blame anyone else, but you take full responsibility. One of the principles that I have in business, because I know a business space is a very complex space, one of the principles I have is that everything that happened around business is my fault. When it fails, it was never the customers. When it's not working out well, or when it's slow, it's never the customers. It's my fault. So when you start that idea, make sure you take 100% responsibility and accountability that the business will succeed or fail because of you. And in me having started like a lot of business, I've come to also, I did business at school, right? Like I mentioned, we did it practically and in theory. There are a lot of things that I've learned, and I was very attentive when it comes to business studies because it's something that I loved, right? I was very attentive. When they talk about certain theories, I pay attention. However, having gone to the street to sell, to start businesses, the level of education when it comes to business, I've come to realize that the businesses that exist, those ones that are stable and those ones that fail, businesses are not different, but the mindset that run the business is different. So I wouldn't have noticed that if I didn't make those mistakes in those ideas that I applied. But now I know that the success and the failure of business depend on me. And before I would think that business is not becoming successful because it's not the right business. Now I know that it's never about the business. It's a mindset behind behind the business itself, or it's a mindset of the person that is leading the business, because business is just like a child.
I love the fact that you never gave up in this thing. This shows that you have a growth mindset in all of what you've said.
Yeah, thank you.
So in all of these businesses that you have, how do you keep the money going? How do you keep the business going? Because the business needs money to go on and operate and continue and whatsoever. So how do you keep money in business?
Yeah, that's one of the challenges that I'm facing right now, and I think it's because money was never part of my syllabus. Money was never part of the topics that I dealt with at school. So I'm still learning, and with learning, I have realized that it's not a problem to generate money, but the money is to keep it. So I'm going to tell you about the journey that I'm in right now with regards to the question that you answer. Mm-hmm. I store my money on assets. I buy things, right? And I keep my money in the street.
In the streets, how?
That's a question I'm willing to answer like some other time. But
okay.
I don't put the money. I don't put money where I have access.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I did that, I realized that I always saw a need for this money to to fulfill. There was always a need. So I prefer not having money in my account, but in my possession. It's good. Mm-hmm. So I keep the money away from me, and I buy things, and I store money
in assets.
Sometimes store money in its own value, like keeping cash. Mm-hmm. Yeah, keeping cash. For instance, other people call it saving, but Yeah, I call
You
it
don't-
store money. You just store.
You just store money
Yeah,
in
you
cash.
just store. Yeah, you just store money.
Okay.
Well, not all in cash, or not like a chunk of money in cash, because money is a depreciating asset. So if you store money for growth, you are, sabotaging yourself. So you store money until you find a proper reason
To spend it.
to invest it on.
Okay.
So I'm at the stage where I'm just accumulating money and buying assets, and investing and investing in myself too, because I realize that as long as you don't decolonize your mindset when it comes to money, things are always going to be the same. So one should invest in themselves too. So I invest in myself. I buy books, I try to put my money in things that can teach me more about money, and in things that can make more money. It's all a journey. I wouldn't give anyone a millionaire, a million rands or $1 million advice on money, because I'm not a millionaire. I'm not 100,000-aire. I'm just 1,000-aire. I can teach people how to probably make 1,000, because I know how to make 1,000. I wouldn't be able to teach them how to make 1 million, because I haven't made 1 million yet. I can probably not teach them how to make 100,000, because I haven't made 100,000s consistent. Even if I make 100,000, they go. I'm not in a position where I'm able to keep it. But for 1,000 rand, I'm able to tell someone what they can do, and what they can do, they can invest it in assets. And these assets can be different things. You can buy crypto, you can buy motorcycles, you can give your money out to your friends. Maybe they hold it for use for some period, and you probably ask them to thank you in a certain way, so in small assets. And sometimes you create relationships through money. Taking someone out on a date, it's you investing your money, but it depends the person you're taking out on a date. I don't take people that I'm not going to learn anything from them on the date. I don't mind to pay a bill, even if it costs 2,000, for someone that can teach me something that can change my life in that moment. So even taking someone out on a date, putting them in a state where they are able to think and not have any chance of talking to anyone else but you, you know that you're going to learn a lot, and that's an investment. So those small things, I think that's how one can keep their money. But how I keep my money personally, I buy assets, I invest it in my relationships, and I find ways to use the one that I've stored.
In one of your answers, you mentioned that teachers were supporting you guys in the businesses, and you also mentioned the 2 guys that were supporting you when you were starting your barber shop. How important is it to have a support system, or people that believe in you and support you during those times where you start the business?
Great question. I'm very passionate to answer that question. Having people, I would like to label that as relationships, right? Having relationships is important. I think everyone should have relationships. It's very important, because this is how I consider relationships. We all have our times. There are times in this world where our energy is very high, and when it's high, we can produce more, we can attain more. But there are times that our energy is very low. It might be influenced by different things, and during those times, you need people with high energy, so that they can make you produce anyway, despite the fact that your energy is low. So I've had people that have helped me to produce at my worst times. You understand? And that includes the likes of you. I've had people that have helped me to achieve things much faster than I thought. My dream to go to America, it was a dream. It was not just a goal. I remember when I was in high school, I wanted to go to America. That came true because of a relationship. You understand what I'm saying? This thing that is happening right here is because of a relationship. A lot of times when I felt like I was fading away from myself, from the promising self, someone that know me, that is part of my supporting structure, they would bring me back on the road, bring me back on the journey, that this is where you said you wanted to go to. So having people that are gonna support you, and not only support you, but are gonna remind you where you wanted to go, this helped you to always stay also true to the things that you really want. Like for instance, my friends, we always fight those true friends that I have, we fight on one thing. I remind them about the things that they suddenly don't want. I'm like, you said you want this, and I still remember the ambition and the fire on your face that you had when you said you wanted this. Do you really want to forfeit this, or do you forsake this? Is it because it's difficult, or is it because you feel like you are defeated? And I'm that type of a friend that will tell you that don't quit on a bad day. It's fine to quit, I don't mind, but don't quit because it's a bad day. So having such people that are gonna tell you such things, and they're gonna support you. I barely go to people and ask for money. I ask for what money can do. Do you understand? So me saying have relationships, I don't just call people and be like, yo, can you please give me 10,000? In fact, people call me sometimes and be like, can I offer you 10,000 because I know you're such a handful man. That's the power of relationship. I remember one of the last year, I had a friend of mine calling me. He's like, yo, I just have an excessive money here. Don't you want this part? You can bring it back when you are done in your dealings. I'm like, thank you. And that time I needed that money, I think, so having people that are gonna support you is good. However, with a lot of people around you, you grow wings of entitlement. You become entitled. Although people support you, never become entitled on people's things, because they're only helping you. It's mercy and grace that they give you. So relationships are very important. The necklace that I'm wearing, it was granted to me by a friend of mine in Scotland, because of how in good terms we were how in good terms we had. You know what I'm saying? He said, bro, I was in Canada, I saw this, and I thought I should buy it for you. You're gonna like it. If there's something that I've come to learn is, when I entered for the space of business, I thought money, but I was wrong.
Yeah.
In a sense, I found out that it's not money. It's people, then money. Because, I mean, what's the need of chasing money if money is found in places that you are not in good conditions with, which is people's pocket? If you are good with money, or if you want to be good with money, then be good with people, because you cannot be good with money and not be good with people. And I know there are a lot of people, public figure, that go chase money. Money comes from good relationships. If you solve people's problems, which sometimes happen within the radius of relationship, then people are going to remunerate you. There's a quote by Joker, I know it might be relevant, that if you get good at something, people are soon enough are gonna pay you. So I'm just saying, when you get good with people, then I don't think money is gonna be a problem.
I hear you talking about people and telling us that everything that we have right now and whatever that is going on right now in this episode, it's because of a relationship. So how do we keep these relationships and maintain them? Because I think some people do know how to speak to people on first time when they meet and whatsoever, but the problem is maintaining this relationship and keeping it going.
Yeah, this is gonna sound very contrary to what I said. I think the best way to keep relationships is to maintain yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, it is to maintain yourself. Take care of yourself, and the self that is taken care of will take care of the things that are around, including relationships.
Sure.
Because the people that we lose, sometimes we don't lose them because things don't just work out, but we lose them because they see that there is nothing much to gain from us. We are too miserable, we are too imperfect, we are too broke, we are too reckless to be in good relationships with them. So when you take good care of you, improve yourself, grow every day, do something to put yourself in a better version, I think your relationships will sustain themselves. Because I know that I've never deleted the number of a person that was valuable and important on my contacts, even if they didn't treat me right. Right? So if you put yourself in at a level where you are valuable, you won't have to work hard in creating relationships and in maintaining them. People don't get rid of value. I mean, how many times money has hurt you?
Yeah.
But you still love to have it in your account, isn't it? So it's because around
time.
money there's value. It's not like you like those numbers, but you like that what the money can do. You know, you don't like having those numbers, but you like the value that money can bring. So I'm saying, take care of yourself. I think that's the best way of taking care of your relationships. If you grow, if you will grow, people will drift towards you.
Law of attraction. Okay.
There's a saying that love gurus would say that if you are looking for a relationship, would you date yourself? Now I'm putting that in a sense of a friendship or relationship, in the relationship context we're talking about. If you were looking for a friend, would you be grateful to have a friend like you? Do you understand? Then if the answer is no, that means you have to work on yourself so more. I wish to have someone like me, someone who's gonna look me straight in my eyes and be like, bro, you're not doing what you said, what you wanted, you said you wanted to do. Someone who's gonna hold me accountable. Before you hold other people accountable and you get comfortable with that, you have to get comfortable with holding yourself accountable. So I say, take care of yourself, and that's an ultimate way of taking care of your relationships, because people drift to value. So if you make yourself valuable, then you become good. No one want to spend their time with someone that is always taking away. And we think there's a like a mystery of attracting people to you. The mystery doesn't exist. If you use a love potion or something like that, I think it's seasonal. There's a time where a person will wake up will wake up out of the idiot that they are to realize that, who am I? Like, what happened to me? So I say, if you really want to take good care of your relationship, make sure you are valuable, because if you have value, then people can always benefit from you. It should not always be give me when you want to keep your relationship. Don't have a give me spirit or attitude. Rather have, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? Be of service to people. And that's something that we avoid. People don't want to be of service. They always want to be to be helped. But there's this book that I'm currently reading, which I love so much, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It says, if you are able to give people what they want, you will have the world eating at the palm of your hand. Help people, be of service. When you are of service, you become great. There's a quote by Martin Luther King that says, not everyone will be famous, but everyone can be great, because greatness is determined by service. So be of service to keep your friends.
All right. If you had like you knew that this was your last days, how would you spend those days?
That question. I remember. Oh my God. You know, to tell you, every day appeared to be my last day to me. So how I live my every day, to me, I'm like, this is how I would live my last day. Yeah, that question is a banger to my mind. I would just live the way I live, honestly.
Okay.
I think I'm doing, like I said, everything that is happening right now is happening accordingly. So if this was my last day, I would probably be doing this interview at this time. I'm okay with everything that is happening, and I don't feel like I'm missing out on certain things. If I feel like I'm missing out, then it means I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Look, I've come to realize that we're only humans. We cannot be in several places all at once. However, those small things that we do can represent us in several places, even if we're not there. So I've done well to people that I came across, and those ones that I didn't do good, I really apologize, and I think I've apologized to them, because I don't deny that I've had so many people. There are so many hearts that I've really had in this world, and I'm not proud of it, but it's part of me being a human.
Thank you very much for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you very much for sharing such impactful words with us. And thank you. We hope to see you again next time.
Yeah, for sure. You should see me when my book is out. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.